Hello and welcome to the Go Fit Gals webinar on menopause and fitness. I'm Steve Dotto. I'm going to be kind of your the MC, as it were, for this evening's festivities. And PJ and Reese want to welcome you all in. And look at that, we've already got about 13, 14 people in the room. So we are going to be spending about an hour this evening discussing one of my favorite topics, fitness. I thought I was going to say menopause. Now, let me give you folks just a little idea of what to expect this evening. In a few moments, I'm going to pass things over to PJ, who's going to be walking us through this evening. Now, on your computers, you're visiting us today in a Google Hangout on air. And we use a little bit of a wrapper over top of that called Webinar Jam, which allows us to have an interactive chat as we're going on. So if you look at the right-hand side of your screen, you'll see that we have a chat window there. So let's test that out and let us know where you're coming from. We're all here in the southwest corner of BC. Both Reese, PJ, and myself are in the southwest corner of BC. But let us know where you're all coming in from, so that we can so we can get a feel and a sense for where you are. Now, as we go along through today's webinar, you can have a conversation. We can sidebar about what PJ is talking about. No rude comments, or you can roll your eyes occasionally. There's some nice emoticons that can help you roll your eyes for some of the things that PJ says. But if you are, especially if you're having any technical issues at all, let me know there in the chat, and I will be there to answer any technical issues carrying you through. Any menopausal issues, Reese is going to be there for and answer the questions, but also any questions that you have that we're going to want to address to PJ at the end. Post them in the chat as we go along, and we'll be able to bring them up at the end. So the structure is going to be basically, I'm going to pass things over to PJ in a few moments. She'll be doing the webinar itself. She'll be doing a bit of a slideshow, and then we'll have questions and answers at the end. And look at that, we already have people coming in. We've got Otar from Westchester, New York. Welcome. We've got Karen from North Delta and Clarice from Surrey. We have a few people from Lower Mainland, as we expected. Now, we'll come back and we'll welcome more of you in a moment, but first let me introduce the star of this evening's webinar, PJ, who's sitting there in her office with Reese. Go ahead and say hi, PJ.
Hi, PJ. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the webinar.
Hi, guys.
Good. Okay, is that all you're going to do? So Reese is going to be only there for just a few seconds, and then she's going to jump into the chat as well. So I see we got lots of people from Ladner. Why in the world would we have people from Ladner here? Jackie and Lisa.
That's
and
my hometown. Woo,
Irene. Woo. That's it. That's where. And all these people were probably in class today with us, weren't they, PJ?
Yeah. They were strong-armed to come and join.
Well, why don't you kick things off and fill people in on what you're going to be talking about? And I'm going to turn off my camera and mic right now. I will be here to as I say, to handle any technical questions as we go along, and then I'll jump back in when we get into the question and answers after a little while. So off to you, PJ.
Thank you, Steve. All right. Well, welcome everybody. We're now staring at a blank screen, which is kind of bizarre. Hopefully you can hear us.
See anybody.
I know. Webinars are I'm still trying to wrap my head around it, talking and somebody's listening, but I don't see you. But thanks so much for joining Reese and I.
Yeah.
Tonight we're talking all about fitness and menopause. We're going to give you some, did you want to get in there?
Fitness and menopause.
She took a deep breath like she was going to say something. I'm going to give you a lot of takeaways today, takeaways that you can use in the gym right away, that you can use in daily life right away, as well as action steps that you can add in your life. I'm also going to present a very good argument as to how and why fitness can help you at this time of your life. Got anything there, Miss Reese?
Well, I always have something to say.
She does.
Yeah, you know what? I've been saying this on Facebook and Twitter. We've got PJ with over 20 years of experience in the fitness industry giving.
I started when I was 5.
Yes. I forgot to mention that part.
Yeah,
it was very natural how she came about this.
It was.
No, but all of this knowledge she has in her head, she is going to spew out to us today and share with us. And it's going to be awesome information that will make your midlife your best life. So pay attention, grab a pen and paper, and get ready to jot down some notes.
Yeah, and we'll also link this up and send it out in an email. And this will also be a future podcast on our new podcast channel, the Hot Flash Cafe, on iTunes. So we've released a couple of podcasts already, and quietly inching up to the top nothing so far, podcasts of iTunes, but soon we'll be top 10.
That's right.
Soon.
Just subscribe and listen and we'll get there.
Oh, all right. I'm going to just screen share here and put up my slideshow that I've set up for us. And we're going to get going. Where's everybody coming from, too? We've got a few people that have typed in comments. Don't be shy. Get your comments there. Where are you from? How are you guys doing tonight? All right, you should be seeing my slideshow pretty soon. The whole thing, though, don't worry. All right, there we go. That's me. I'm PJ, your tough love trainer for the not so tough. So tonight we're going to help you go from hot flash hell to hot flash hottie. As I said, you're going to take away what areas you need to address in the gym, like ASAP, because there's nothing worse than working on your strengths. You want to work on your weaknesses when you're in the gym to see results. I'm also going to tell you what every workout week should look like, as well as the bare minimum you can get away with. Now, what exercises are going to be discussed that are best for you right now in your midlife as well as during menopause, how to get rid of that dreaded menopause belly. Yeah, we know it. What's the one thing that you should be doing and every day, and the hot flash workout answer. In addition, as I mentioned, you're going to walk away with 3 actionable steps that will help you with menopause, as well as increase your fitness, improve your energy levels, and perhaps take a little off the waistline. You guys ready for the journey? All right, here we go. Getting older sucks. Here's what science has to say. Physical activity isn't a proven way to reduce menopausal symptoms such as hot flashes and sleep disturbances. For some women, however, regular physical activity during and after menopause seems to relieve stress and improve quality of life, and that's from WebMD. Now, I absolutely respect WebMD. However, I have an argument because I want to call BS on that statement. And once you hear my argument, I think you'll also be saying BS to that statement. So here's my argument, and this is fact-based, okay? It's not PJ-based, as my husband would say when I try to give him some logic. Okay, first, we know for a fact that one of the major reasons our bodies are going through so much change during menopause is because of our inability to produce certain hormones, estrogen and progesterone in particular. Now, we also know for a fact that when the body is in sync, our adrenal glands can take over some of this hormone production while we're going through menopause, therefore diminishing some, and in certain women, all of the symptoms related to having the low estrogen and progesterone levels. And these symptoms include everything from hot flashes, fatigue, headaches, to bone loss. Now, here's the kicker, though. If you are suffering from adrenal fatigue, this can impair our adrenal glands from doing their job, and in turn send us into early menopause, as well as intensify our symptoms from menopause. These are all facts. Now, how do you fatigue your adrenals? And it's not from partying all night. Well, it is sort of in a sense. You fatigue your adrenals through chronic stress, depression, and anxiety. Those are one of the top 3 contributors. Now, guess what one of the top 3 physician-suggested, research-proven techniques are to combat those 3 ugly things? Exercise. So I ask you, what do you think? Do you believe WebMD, or do you think there's something to be said in managing these symptoms of menopause with exercise? I think there is. So you need exercise. Okay, and you know that, right? You need it before menopause, you need it during menopause, and hell, you really need it after menopause.
Actually, if I can just pipe in here, it's
about... I said hell?
Yes, exactly. No, but you know, when you're in your 20s, you kind of take advantage of the fact that your body's like almost naturally in okay shape or good shape.
Yeah, definitely.
Shape. But once you hit 30 and you've hit peak bone mass, it all goes downhill from there. So at 30 years old is the time and that's where we say before menopause. It's really at that 30 mark. If you're not already in good shape, you have to take it more seriously now than ever, and then into the during and post, you know.
Let it become a habit. So, you know, you see, you need fitness. You need it before, like Reese said. You need it during. You need it after. Now, if you're not going to do this for yourself, at least do it for your adrenal glands, eh?
PJ?
Yes.
I'm just going to jump in right now. Could you stop the slideshow? Could you stop the sharing for just a sec and then reshare, but instead of just bringing up the app, bring up your whole desktop and then start the slideshow again? Some of the people aren't seeing it, and I'm pretty sure it's just because you're just sharing the app right now.
Okay. Let me try this again. Sorry for those of you not seeing it.
Oh, no worries. We're still learning.
So hit desktop, start screen share.
That's what I want to see. And now hit play.
Yep. Just takes a sec. How's that, everybody?
That should be better.
You guys like that graphic? Things don't have to fall apart, though. Trust me. All right. So, we want to see what exactly you need to start training on. Because like I discussed in the opening, we want to actually take into account our weaknesses and strengthen those. And then from there, our strengths will actually get better because we are only as strong as our weakest link. So to know where your weaknesses are, we're going to do a quick total body fitness assessment. That's right. I'm going to have you moving. Now, I don't know if this has ever been done in webinar format before. We could be the very first webinar ever to do a fitness assessment online.
Yeah.
This is cool. This could be epic or it could be an epic failure. So let's go for epic. So I need everybody, and that means everybody, because these are 3 basic tests. They're going to take us less than 3 minutes, and we're going to do it together. And I need you in your bare feet, so preferably with no socks on. But if you love socks and can't take them off, then by all means, keep your socks on. The very first test we want to take is balance. Now, balance is defined as the even distribution of weight enabling someone or something to remain upright and steady. Now, it's very important in area of fitness, especially as we age, because a good sense of balance can help us react quickly, therefore preventing injuries and accidents. Balance is also a great indicator of overall fitness, because people who are more fit and active actually tend to have better balance than others that aren't. Now, there's 2 types of balance tests you can do: static, where you're standing in one spot, or dynamic, like you're seeing in the slideshow here. During the static balance test, you maintain a single position for as long as possible while timing the results. Pretty simple. I didn't want simple for you guys. I wanted to see how you did in a dynamic test, and this is going to take about 15 seconds. So I'm going to give you a couple minutes here to stand, and I'm assuming you're all standing. Perfect. Now with your hands on your hips, let's start with your left leg. Lift it up straight up like I have there in that very first photo. Now bring it back to center without touching the ground and lift it out to your side. Bring it back to the center. And now lift it behind you, as far behind you as you can, lowering your upper body as well. How you doing? Come back to center. Still no foot on the ground. Lift that left heel towards the bum. Now release it. How are they doing? How are you doing? Okay, let's try the other leg. Lift the right leg up. Straight up. Don't touch the ground. Bring it under the hip. Now abduct it out to your side. Now behind you. And now heel to the bum. Release. Have a seat. Now log on and let us know, how the heck did you do? Did you find one leg easier to do than the other? That's quite common. We're stronger, more balanced, more secure, more stable on one leg. And that can create problems as we get older. Were you able to, or perhaps were you had to grab onto something for both legs? Did you feel your ankle moving a lot? How are they doing? We got one wobbly.
They're not talking, which I think means they're doing it right now.
If you didn't do the balance test, well, maybe you'll do this test then. So as I said, that balance test is designed, it's a 15-second test, and it's designed to show you whether or not you're stable and secure, because you actually need to start with balance before you start building out on strength. We need that balance first. And if you found that you were wobbly on this, don't worry. I'm going to give you some strategies later on and what to do in the gym to help increase your balance. Now, your next test, and this is the second hardest one. And we may or may not have some takers on this one. This wonderful lady is doing a push-up. She's doing one elevated. We want to do a 1-minute push-up because we want to test your upper body strength. Women are typically weaker in the upper body compared to our lower body. And if we don't keep an eye, though, on this decrease of lean muscle mass, then we are going to add on more body weight as well as the ability to do regular daily tasks. In fact, if we don't start exercising by the age of 30, and Reese mentioned that magic number earlier, we'll lose between 3 to 5% of our strength with every passing decade. So that means for a lot of people, the inability to do many things, even as simple as opening jar lids, helping, bringing the groceries to the car, that idea. Things that we don't want to ask help for. So right now, I want you to try a push-up test with me. Now you can do it a couple of different ways depending on where you are right now. You can do it from the knees with your hands wider than your shoulders. You can do it from the toes. You can do it against a wall for beginners. So this woman is showing a similar version of a wall push-up. You would be elevated even higher than her. So I really give this a try. I know a lot of you may be thinking, I just logged in on a webinar to sip tea and listen. But hey, you logged in on a fitness webinar.
So what do you expect, guys? Seriously.
I want you exercising. So start getting set up now. I'm going to time you for 1 minute. And what you're going to do is count how many reps you do. And a rep is lowering yourself to the floor or the wall and pressing yourself back to a straightened arm. That's 1 rep. We're going to count how many you can do in 1 minute, and then I'm going to give you some assessment scores, and you can see where you're at. Now, if you need to take a break at any time in the minute, go for it. Take a break, and then continue on with your rep count, okay? So, everybody set up? Again, we're working on the honor system here. I don't know what the heck you're doing. So, on your mark, I'm setting the timer, get set, and go. Start doing push-ups. So we should see absolutely no chatter in our chat box right now because you guys are using your arms to push up and not to type. Now take a look at where those hands are. The fingertips placed straight ahead. Beautiful. Are the hands wider than your shoulders? Don't let that core sink either. Keep your core tight. I see a lot of people allow their hips to drop or they push their hips way up, almost in a downward dog position. Look at that, you're already at 38 seconds.
Nobody's talking on the chat room. I think they're doing it or they're faking it. I can't tell.
Yeah, fake it till you make it. Whatever the case it is, thank you for humoring me. You've got 10 seconds left, everybody. Here's the countdown. Last 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shake it out. Well done. Now shake those arms out. Come and have a seat and get in the chat room. How'd you guys do? How'd the push-ups go? Oh, nothing so far. Well, let me tell you what fitness testing, what they say the goals are. So in an assessment situation, if you were one of my clients and you did 30 or more push-ups, I would categorize you as excellent upper body strength. 18 to 29, good. 7 to 17, average. 2 to 6, poor. 2 or fewer, I would give you a high five for giving it your best, and then you would see a lot more push-ups in your future. So, where are you guys? How did you do with that? Again, we need to do these assessments because we need to determine what you need to work out in the gym. We need to strengthen the weaknesses. Wow, we're seeing some 30s. We got some kick-ass people. Well done. Okay, now this next assessment is super cool. It is the bomb. I love it, but you need to play with me on this one, okay? I need you. If I didn't need any group or community right now, I need you for this one. We're going to do a sitting to rising test. This is going to test your ability to get up and off the ground. Now, our sit to rise test is a measure of your fitness at its most basic level. It's not testing only your leg strength, but also your core strength, your flexibility, your balance, and your motor coordination. Easy for me to say. Now, all of these attributes are essential for day-to-day living and for maintaining a healthy body as you age. Now, this super cool test wasn't developed by us. It was actually developed by researchers in Brazil. And they performed a study in which they found that this one test correlated strongly with participants' risk of death. So people who couldn't pass this test actually died 6 years sooner than the people who did. It was a very long-standing study. And I'm going to link up in the show notes when we send everything out the link to this study because it was super interesting. Now, I need you in your bare feet for this. You're sitting, as you see there, I'm sitting cross-legged, all right? And then I'm getting up off the ground with only my feet touching the ground. My hands, the side of my leg, nothing else is touching the ground until I get into a standing position, and then I'm going to reverse the procedure and go down. Now here's the trick. Here's what not to do. A lot of people are going to roll on their knee, or roll on their hand on their knee, or roll on their back hand and put their front hand on your thigh. What we're going to do is start in this position in the cross-legged and a count of 5. And every body point that you touch, you deduct a mark. So in my first slide on what not to do, I would deduct 1 mark because my knee hit. In the second slide there, I would have to deduct 2 off of my 5 because my hand and the side of my knee. And then in the third slide, I would have to deduct 3 marks because I got my hand, the side of my knee, and my other hand all helping me up. I want to create a perfect score of 5 on the way up and then another perfect score of 5 on the way down. Who's with me? Yeah, okay. I'll take that silence as a resounding yes. All right, here we go. I need you to sit down cross-legged. And you know what? This is a little harder than you think. I was a little cocky thinking, really? Sit to rise? I'm a personal trainer. Come on, give it to me. And Larry and I had to do two different photos. So it does test your motor coordination. All right, so sit down cross-legged. Hands on your hips. Okay, here's the kicker. Lift your body up with only the sides of your feet and then the tops of the bottoms of your feet, pardon me, touching the ground and end in a completely normal standing position. How many contact points did you touch? Do you still have 5 points? Now, how about going down? So now reverse. Cross the legs over. Slowly lower. Hands on hips and finish on the rear end. Beautiful. Now come and sit at the computer. Out of a score of 10, I want you to let us know what your score was. And if we get everybody participating, I promise to do 100 burpees, and Reese will film it and YouTube it for you.
Ha! Yes, I will. I might just get tendinitis again.
You might get tendinitis. That's another story we'll tell you guys later. So how'd you do?
Well, we're getting some numbers. We got a 2, -2, 4, 5, a 3, 3, 5. Yeah, we're getting people counting their numbers in. Hey, guys, while I have you here, check out, we've got a poll that we're going to launch here for you guys to answer. We want to know what your favorite form of training or exercise is, whether it's strength or cardio. So be sure to answer that.
So that's the sitting to rising test. Pretty neat. Now, if you didn't participate, and because you came here just to sort of observe and sip tea and relax, I totally get that. This is, as I said, going to be part of our show notes, and it's also going to be a future podcast. So I encourage you to download them and then try them out and see, again, where perhaps you need to focus on when you're in the gym. So deciphering your assessment. Well, when you develop your plan, if you found that the balance drill really challenged you, then I really recommend you take your shoes off a little bit more. Believe it or not, our shoes help us with balance, and they make our muscles of our feet quite lazy. If you need orthotics, I get it. Just try to wear shoes around the house then. I've actually gotten to running on the treadmill with no shoes to help strengthen my feet, so I don't ask you to go to that extreme. Second thing to help you with balance, use your arms less when getting up and down in daily life. You'll be surprised at how often we actually do use our arms as opposed to letting our legs do the work. In the gym, you can actually perform calf raises, and that's where you keep the legs straight and you lift up high off the heels and down again. We find that with people with weak calves that their balance isn't as good. And then that static balance that I was discussing about earlier, where you hold something for a time, you could do that, but then up the ante a little bit and do it with your eyes closed. That will increase your ability to balance. Now, if push-ups had you sweating, well, guess what? I want you to implement push-ups into your workout. I really love it. If you have good shoulders, if your physio has told you not to do push-ups, please respect what they're telling you. But push-ups are a great exercise to not only build the chest muscles and the shoulder muscles, but as well your core, your hips, your triceps. It's just a fantastic all-over body weight exercise. So start with implementing 3 reps 3 times a week. Get up to 10 reps. Get up from your toes. Get doing them declined. No problem. Now, if the sitting to rising test was a problem, then we need to start by getting you off your rear end more, so walking more, sitting less, and then we can up the ante further and add lunges to your workout, climb the stairs without, holding on the railing, and yoga. Yoga will actually get all 3. I love yoga. Oh, and our YouTube videos, right?
Those are the best, the YouTube videos, yeah.
I forgot to plug our own stuff.
Screw everything else. Let's go to our YouTube channel.
So there's my first action step for you. I want you to add squats to your workout because that's going to help you out with that sit to rise as well as the balance. So 15 to 20 squats, 3 sets or 3 rounds, 3 times a week. And then a 30 to 45 second plank 3 times a week. If you have not got a clue what these things are, welcome. We're going to link up, okay, little how-to videos of a plank and a squat with the playback that we're going to send everybody. So don't worry, we're not going to leave you hanging as to what to do with your form. And that's a true, actually, what happened right there. Client, I don't do squats because I have bad knees. My response was, you have bad knees because you don't do squats. So if you can get up and out of a chair, you can do a squat. All right, what are the best exercises to do in your midlife? Well, I'm not even going to build up the suspense. I'm just going to let you know right now. It's strength training. In fact, it's the only form of exercise that will address all the things that happen to us physiologically as we age, so whether or not we're in menopause. It will increase our bone density, improve our stamina, boost our metabolism, and even manage or eliminate chronic diseases. Now let's start with the how it helps with all that. First, the obvious, strength training builds muscle. And it builds muscle in a way better way than, say, running, swimming, or other forms of cardio will. While cardio exercise places a load on the body, it doesn't necessarily overload the muscle fibers themselves. Our muscle fibers need to be hit and trained at a load that they are not accustomed to see an increase in their size. Second, strength training will also strengthen our connective tissue, the tendons. And this is what will protect us from further loss of water as we age, because that's what happens, I'm afraid, and from potential injury. Third, strength training, when done correctly, can place a great stress on the heart, helping it become stronger and pump blood more efficiently. So what type of strength training will tax the muscles and the heart? Circuit training for one. And these are exercises, or these are workouts where you move from one exercise to the next with no rest at all. Now, if you need any ideas, I chat about YouTube channel, this is where you would actually go to our YouTube channel, because this is really the only way we train. Because not only is it effective in training the heart and muscles, it's time effective as well. So it's great if you don't have a lot of time to work out. Now finally, strength training is one of the best forms of exercise for both weight loss and weight management. And I'll tell you why. First, when you strength train at a hard intensity, your body will experience what science calls EPOC, exercise post-oxygen or post-exercise oxygen consumption. This means that your strength training workout will not only burn calories while you are doing it, it will also spike your ability to burn calories from anywhere from 1 hour to sometimes 12 hours, depending on how hard that workout was, as your body tries to reach homeostasis. So as it tries to get back to pre-exercise levels, it's burning a ton of calories to get back there. No other workout does that. In addition, due to this increased muscle mass that you are now sporting with your strength training program, you will become a better fat-burning machine 24 hours a day. You see, it takes the body more energy or more calories to keep a pound of muscle warm than it does to keep a pound of fat warm. So more muscle equals more calories burned in a day. Now, if you happen to be sporting some of that, what some women term menopod, little bellies there, if you happen to be sporting some abdominal fat, then you really need to pick up some dumbbells. In a study released by Harvard, researchers there found that people who did 20 minutes of strength training a day had less of an age-related abdominal fat than those who spent the equal amount of time doing aerobic activities. Now this is where it gets really interesting. Now yes, the participants who performed the daily aerobic activity actually lost more body weight in general than the weight training did. They were unable, however, to stop their waistlines from growing. Only the weight training group were able to lose inches in their midsection. So that's pretty significant. We tell people we can't necessarily spot train, but here's an example of where the body can utilize fat in a specific area by doing a specific exercise. So that leads me to action step number 2. I want you to go to one weight training class in the next 2 weeks. There's one right there. So there you go. If you're in Delta, come to mine. Now, what is the one exercise that not only myself, but science says that you should be doing? Well, if you want to increase your energy, improve your blood circulation, increase your muscle strength, lower your stress levels, all you really need to be doing is something that you are already doing every second of the day. However, most of us aren't doing it right. Want to guess what it is? It's breathing. It is one exercise myself and experts would like people to be doing more of and every day. But not just any kind of breathing, because most of us, as I said, are doing it wrong. It is estimated that a majority of us are actually only using 20% of our lungs when we breathe. Instead of deep, relaxing, yet unbelievably energizing to the body, belly breaths, we're breathing shallowly and only into our chest, never filling our abdomen and getting the air where it's really needed. This has very dire consequences to our health. But lucky for us, we can learn how to breathe properly and help that. Now, as I don't know if you, hopefully you remember, back in the first slide where I was talking about our adrenal gland fatigue and how the number one contributors to that fatigue was stress, well, exercise helps, and so does deep breathing. So let's give it a try. I want you to sort of find your diaphragm, and that's a large sheet-like muscle that lies at the bottom of the chest cavity. So I want you to sit comfortably here and place your left hand on your upper chest and your right hand on your abdomen, just in the gap of where your rib cage is. Now breathe. Do you feel your both hands moving or just your top hand? Now close the mouth and take a big inhalation And try not to move the left hand too much. Just feel the right hand expand underneath your breath. Now slowly release that breath through the nose, feeling that right hand go in towards you now. Inhale now for a count of 4. Exhale for a count of 4. Do you already feel a little more relaxed than when you began? You can use this breathing technique to help with a number of things. Stress, to help you fall asleep. I don't say count sheep, I say count breaths. It can also help energize you. Classic example, yesterday I was under a tremendous amount of stress. I was exhausted because a lot of you know I suffer from insomnia. And I just sat and I breathed. I forced myself to breathe for 10 minutes. And boy, did I feel better afterwards. I highly recommend breathing.
Go for gals. #1 tip, breathe.
Actually, I always tell my clients, I like my clients upright and breathing.
That's true, it's important.
So that leaves me with your final action step. I want you to practice the deep belly breathing we just did, where you inhale for a count of 4, exhale for a count of 4, 3 times a week. If you're new to this sort of breathing and trying to get a feel of your body, try this lying down with your knees bent. It's more relaxing, it'll help you focus, and eventually you'll get to a part where you can just focus on that breathing even in the chaotic mess of, standing in the DMV. You'll just be able to get it. Now, to finish off this topic, I have a lot of people that I train personally that are going through menopause. And quite frankly, I just face a fan right in front of them and let them go. But sometimes we don't always have that perk. For instance, what happens if you do start to have a hot flash? Well, just to let you know that intense exercise can increase your hot flashes. So you may need to tone it down during particular stressful times, or you may need to try something such as an outdoor activity that'll keep you cooler, or swimming. But first and foremost, if you're working out, make sure your workout clothes are dry fit. This will wick away the sweat. Cotton will only suck it in and make you sweat even more. Second is hydrate. We need you hydrating, and I find women at this time of year, because it's colder, we don't sip enough water, so we need you to keep hydrating. Now finally, there are some women that have seen success with a couple of things like neck coolers and handheld cooling devices, and I'm going to link up a couple links in the show notes as well. Neck coolers can be as simple as a wet towel just wrapped around the neck, and that'll bring down the core temperature. Or you can get quite fancy, and they sell them online as well. So what neck coolers do is they dampen that perceived level of hotness to the body. And again, we'll link up everything in the show notes for you. Now, hand coolers are fairly new on the market, and Bex, B-E-X, is one of the big ones. And again, we'll link up. But basically, the key to this product is that it utilizes natural occurring phenomenon that's unique to the blood vessels beneath the palm surface. See, these blood vessels bring heated blood to the skin surface and return it cool blood back to the body's core. So Beck is almost kind of like holding on to ice cubes while you're working out. So it draws the heated blood and then sends the cool blood into the interior of the body, cooling it down. So it does, there are pros, or not pros and cons. There are women where it didn't help. I was on a lot of chat forums testing this out and seeing what worked and what didn't. But there are a lot of women that have found success with that. So there you have it. There is my whole presentation and explanation and argument as to how and what you should be doing for exercise to help you at this time of your life. It's an important time, and if you haven't started exercising, you can begin. I've started people as into their late 70s that have never worked out before. It's super cool. You'll see results almost immediately. So please just keep moving your body and you will see success. It may not completely get rid of hot flashes. It may not help completely with anxiety, but oh my goodness, it will help with others, including that confidence that we tend to start to lack a bit as we get older. So I'm going to escape out here and put you back to me. And there I am. There's Reese. So, what did you guys think? What are some comments?
You know, we can go to the end of the poll here, PJ. I'm going to end the poll, and it should be
okay.
So the question was, what's your preferred method of workout?
Yes.
And 22% like cardio, 67% prefer strength, and 11% prefer a nookie.
That was Steve, not me. That was not me.
I don't know what you're talking about. I do not know what you're talking about.
I'm blushing, Steve.
All right. What are some questions that we've been asked?
Okay, PJ, I've got one question for you right off the top. Yeah. You know those crazy-ass toe shoes that people have, Vibrams or whatever? You were talking about bare feet. Are those things a good idea for people that still like to have like something on their feet but are looking for a little bit more of that balancey stuff?
They won't give you any balance. What they'll do is just protect your feet from elements.
So they're good ideas. Are they a good idea?
All right.
If you can stand having people laugh at you.
The fad come and go.
Yeah.
So I would save the $100 and just walk around your house more in bare feet.
Mm-hmm. And I think it was Candace that asked about suggestions for hypothyroidism.
That's more kind of nutrition.
Well, it's actually fitness related as well. So it's definitely nutrition related in terms of avoiding certain foods. You can avoid gluten, vegetables, cauliflower, broccoli, vegetables like that, as well as soy. Soy can slow that down as well. But strength training is an important part as well for the hypothyroidism. So we would suggest that you get strength training if you aren't already. And regular exercise actually also helps with it.
And Karen would like to know why a few hours after her workout she feels really cold.
Probably because of the sweat on her body. She feels chilled.
Yeah, sweat cools you down, and then when you're wet from sweat, it'll do that.
Chrissy's struggling with motivation.
Oh, Chrissy, you need to read my blog coming out on Friday. I have 4 easy steps to motivate you to work out. So I'm going to let you guys read that blog to find out the answer to that.
She's giving you nothing else.
Yeah. What's this? The poll is not open.
And Michelle actually offers a suggestion too, which I think is a great idea, which is finding a workout buddy. Or is that one of your suggestions, PJ?
That's not. I like it, Michelle.
Yeah, when you feel responsible with somebody else, quite often it really helps.
That's why a lot of people go to classes, hire trainers, etc. That accountability.
I know for myself, I'm the nutrition half, right? Nutrition is the easy part for me, not the working out. So for me, when I don't feel motivated to work out, because I work out in the evenings because I got kids, so I do it when they go to bed. So it can be really hard to find motivation, and I have to actually tell myself that I'm going to feel better after I do. So as soon as my kids get in bed, I put on my workout gear, sometimes even before. So I'm kind of stuck. I'm committed to that. And I tell myself, just do it, just start, and you won't want to stop. And I know PJ's always said, 10 minutes. Just give it 10 minutes. If you're willing to stop after that, well, fine. But usually you get 10 minutes in and you're like, oh, I feel great. I'm in it. Why would I stop? And you just kind of keep going. So that's what I do.
Get your runners on first and the rest will follow.
Yeah. You know what? If you work out in the morning, when I've trained for, half marathon, stuff like that, I've slept in my workout gear and had my shoes right beside the bed. So I literally roll out of bed, put my shoes on, and I go.
That's hardcore.
I hate mornings.
Forgive me if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Otir, as I believe, OTIR, is asking about the technical side. Are we getting links? So you folks, there will be a webinar replay link sent to you as soon as YouTube has had a chance to take care of all this. So it'll go out automatically.
And any links that we've referenced in the webinar will also be posted in a few weeks on our blog, gofitgalsblog.com, when we replay it as a podcast as well. We'll put that in the show notes.
So Lori asks, if there's anything to help sleep with all the hot flashes? She's finding it getting it harder and harder to sleep, and that's I guess that's one of the really big issues, is the comfort in the episodic hot flashes.
Yeah, it's a huge. There are certain sheets, bed sheets, that you can buy specific for hot flashes. We are also going to. That's what our next webinar is going to be. Actually, it's going to be on science, sleep, and sanity. So you're going to want to check that out. That'll be in March 17th. But some strategies you could use right away is check out. Reese gave a lot of great nutritional tips that helps your body deal nutritionally with hot flashes. The workout, try to have your workout earlier in the day so you're not elevating your core temperature just before bedtime. Deep breathing, again, we're showing that, that adrenal fatigue that increases, the adrenal glands not doing their job, increases the symptoms of menopause. So bringing down your stress levels would be hugely beneficial.
Yeah, and from the nutritional standpoint, we actually have our last webinar up as a podcast. We released it Friday. So go to gofitgalsblog.com. We've got the show notes, and we've got all that information in there. However, the quickest tip I can give you is closer to bedtime, avoid any hot foods and drinks. Don't drink tea before bed. Drink a cold glass of water. Don't have soup in the evening. If you're going to have soup, have it, earlier in the day, like breakfast.
There you go. Just kidding. No hot, spicy Mexican food.
Yeah, spice is another one. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, nutritionist PJ.
So Kay provided a comment. PJ, you can probably fill it in a bit, but she said that her physio advises her to spread her toes for balance during her squats.
Yes, and during your bare feet. So Kay, you're working your balance even more. I love that. And make sure too, when you're squatting, that your knees are tracking with your second toe. That's a great advice. Yeah, it's a great way to save the knees and train the quads well.
And if you have a workout,
sorry?
If you have a workout buddy, I just hold on to them for balance.
Actually, people do that. I always had really bad balance myself until I started doing yoga. And I remember them saying, concentrate on spreading your balance on your 5 toes. And now that's literally what I have to do every time, is I have to think, is my balance in all 5 of my toes in order that I spread it out, and then I'm fine. So
they teach that a lot too in yoga as well, because it's presented in bare feet. People are very challenged.
Chrissy comments that she has nothing but time, so no excuses really. But that's almost a problem, Chrissy, because I know that a lot of people who have nothing but time don't seem to parcel it out as effectively as people who have a really heavy schedule. So it's actually harder to schedule things, because you always think, I can do it in an hour, or I can do it in a couple of hours, or tomorrow. So
that's very true, Steve.
So maybe something like getting signed up for a class that you have to go to, that kind of that
action
intentions
step
your
number
schedule.
2, Chrissy.
Yeah, very much so.
Hey, if I can pipe in, Claire actually just said here that she uses lavender on her feet to help with insomnia and helps to curb hot flashes. And Mary piped in and saying that decreasing caffeine prevents hot flashes, and that is exactly right. That's a big one I should have mentioned. If you cut out your caffeine, that will reduce hot flashes. Those are great tips, ladies.
That's just crazy talk. That is nothing but crazy talk. Do not listen to them.
I will persevere through hot flashes when I get there for my caffeine. Don't smack me, anybody, but I will.
Yeah, Mary says that she saw them decreasing. There we go. The bare feet info is interesting. It makes sense. Several people are commenting on that. There's been a lot. The sage, I use the sage roll-on remedies. So Susan says it helps a lot. And so Claire uses lavender. So it's all these different herbs that people are rubbing onto their feet. Interesting. I suppose if you get your partner to rub it on your feet, it's that much better and more relaxing.
Oh, no, I don't like people touching my feet.
Shannon likes it.
Does she? Yeah,
I like it.
I know. No, Larry's not allowed near my feet.
Yeah, but you kind of have hideous feet, though, PJ. Absolutely.
I don't. Steve, if I could give you the finger now, I would.
I know.
I have to be nice to the ladies that are in the chat room.
That's great.
PJ, can you explain tracking over the second knee in the squats again? Yeah. So when you bend your knees and you see, take a look at where your knees are going. Are they pointed straight ahead? Or quite often what they'll do is they'll point and start coming inwards a bit. And that shows that you're weak in a number of areas, or not a number of areas, but you could be weak in the outer hip muscle, which then you need to fire up that outer hip so that the knees go straight ahead again. Does that help, Kay? It's best to do it in front of, what about painful boobies?
Yeah, I wanted to read that one.
I just saw that pop up. Let's go back to the knees for a second, then we'll talk about painful boobies. Yeah. So do it in front of a mirror, Kay, and see where the knees are going, and then take a look down and make sure that they're going and tracking with that, or going in the same direction as your second toe.
Yeah, and form is more important than getting in all of your reps or doing it quickly. Focus on form, and once you've got good form, and a mirror is what you really need for that, once you have good form, then you can start making sure you're getting in all the reps and, doing it in 45 minutes or less. But before that, focus on form.
Now, the painful chest area.
Yeah, they both want to know it.
Well, as long as you're not having a coronary attack, but it could be due to the lower levels of estrogen. When we're menstruating, we tend to have our breasts tend to hurt more. It could be a hormone fluctuation as well. What to do about that? I don't think there really is, other than following the clean diet and just trying to stay sound nutritionally, keeping the stress levels down, getting enough sleep, which again is a challenge at this time of life. There really is no magic bullet to all of the symptoms of what's happening, but there are techniques through food and through fitness that can help relieve some of them as well as diminish them.
The fact is the body's changing. It's going through a process, and there's going to be some things that kind of fall out of place when that happens. So if you continue or start strength training and moving regularly and watching what you're eating and being more specific about eating whole foods and in good balance as well, you're going to find a lot of these things will be relieved, and a lot of them will go away, but not necessarily all of them. So when it comes to something like that, it could help. It might not help, but it's worth giving a shot, just cleaning up your diet if you haven't already, and making sure that you're regularly moving your body in strength training.
You don't want to be passive about your health.
No.
Good point. We say, it could help, and you're probably thinking, oh, but I want it to help. Well, try it, because you could be one where this helped, but it didn't happen for Sue, or it didn't happen for her. Don't be passive. Be proactive. Don't take a back seat. You might have done that when you were younger. Hell, we're now at an age. Take control. You go, woman. There you go. Own it. Sandra says 10. Thanks. 11.
12.
And I'm seeing several comments that are coming along that some of the women are commenting on the fact that they're getting a lot out of this webinar, the fact that their problems that they thought they were kind of suffering with alone, they're hearing about others. And that's really the whole purpose of these webinars, is to share information. Did you know about the lavender stuff on the feet helping with hot flashes?
I know lavender helps with sleep, but that's awesome that it's helping her with hot flashes.
So, I hadn't heard that either. That's really cool.
So that's really the great thing about these sorts of webinars, where we can actually share the information back and forth, is the extra sharing and the experience.
And sorry, Steve, to interrupt, but that's as well why we're building this, what we're calling the Hot Flash Tribe on Patreon, that last slide that we showed while I was finishing off my webinar. It's building the community and allowing women to have the information they need specific for what they're going through, and then to interact with each other.
Yeah, so to know that other people are going through the same thing, and that they're not alone, and that there is help and hope.
Yeah, so thank you for sharing. Those of you that went and chatted publicly there, we really appreciate it, and so do other women, because now they know, hey, we're normal. This is what's happening.
Yes, that's right. Hey, I want to pipe in again with Claire. Just made a comment saying her husband got her a fan above the bed with a remote control, so she can turn it on and off during the night when she needs it. That is a good husband.
That is a good man. Well done, Claire. Good choice in husbands.
You trained him well.
I'm surprised with, as you guys have been talking about the hot flashes, how often it's just a mechanical cooling, that you're doing nothing about actually changing whatever mechanism is causing the hot flashes in turn.
because it's happening on a hormonal level. So there are hormones you can take, and we just interviewed a naturopath who specializes in hormone testing, and that podcast, I think, is the first or second week of March. And there are hormones you can take to help that, but it's cleaning up your diet and maintaining stress is huge for this time in our life. So, pick up yoga, deep belly breathing, meditation or prayer, whatever works for you to help calm you down, and that will help mediate a lot of the symptoms.
And hot flashes, they're caused by a quick decline in estrogen. So unless you take hormone therapy, which could help to reduce those, just like food and fitness can, it's what your body is doing. It has to happen at this time in your life. There is a decline in estrogen. So hot flashes happen not for everybody, but it is exactly what PJ said. It's hormones.
Yep. Hallelujah.
Sense the excitement.
It looks like the questions are slowing down, although we still have people in the room. So if you have any other questions, we're just approaching the hour. We have about 5 minutes to go in the scheduled time. So if you have any other questions or comments, share them with us now.
Hey, can we ask a favor of everybody that, or you guys have been fantastic. Maybe head to the Go Fit Gals Facebook page tomorrow and just let us know what future webinars you'd like to see. Or podcasts, because like we were saying, we're starting to do those too. And we've got the next one planned, so keep in mind March 17th, that's another Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And this one will be related to science, sleep, and sanity.
It's going to be a good one.
Good. People are still talking about fans. You should have a fan sponsor.
Maybe we'll bring in a fan company as well and raffle some off. How's that?
Sponsored by.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Thank you.
That would make a good thing. There you go. Okay, so I don't. If there's no other questions, people are saying that it's getting late. Certainly, our people out east, it's bedtime. Our friends in New Zealand, it's what time? Oh, good heavens! Our friends in New Zealand, I'm messed up. I think I have no idea what time they are. Oh no, they're mid-afternoon. But it's tomorrow afternoon. It's tomorrow afternoon. It's not all that bad. But so if there are any last questions, I think we'll just I'll let PJ just kind of wrap things up. You will be getting it's St. Patrick's Day already.
Is it?
No, it will be on March 17th.
Oh, that's your
yes.
Your next one.
We will wear green, right, PJ?
Sure, I love green.
And we'll drink green beer.
To hate beer.
Green coffee.
And food coloring.
I'm all for the wearing green.
Joanne's thanking. We're getting lots of thanks from the attendees. So I'll let you girls wrap things up, and then we will, for everybody else, check your email, and you will be getting a replay link as well as other information from PJ and Reese. I'm going to, go ahead, PJ.
Thank you so much, and we want to thank Steve too for being our technical advisor and moderating this as well. Thank you, everybody, and as I said, please head to our Facebook page. We'd love to give you information that you're looking for, and we don't know that till you tell us. So please let us know, and we would definitely do our best to get you the best information on that topic.
Yes, we are here to make sure that you know how to make your midlife your best life.
Until then, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Use your signature sign-off.
Oh, eat clean, train dirty.
There you go. Bye, everybody.
Bye.